The girls have kind of coined the idea of modern modest. They can still choose from a wide array of styles, still stay modest.
Never wear a long necklace or long earrings because you might get it pulled off of you.
Never wear tie-dye.
Never wear a heel. I just can't do heels.
Never choose something that you're going to be super uncomfortable in.
Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Tuesday, April 4th, 2023, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Okay, yesterday we did a video about Joyanna's vlog, which had some suspect decisions in it, including showing the faces of Ginger's kids and sending some shade over to Jeremy. After of which I actually got a message from a former member of the cult and a former friend of the Duggars who explained the whole reason why these videos are being put out and potentially what the message is that they're trying to say. And I know it sounds wild to say that there's some sort of conspiracy here, but I'm just going off of what people tell me. And then I got an email from a former ATI member who grew up in this cult and knows all the details about what Gothard demands of his followers. And they gave me insight into why Jim Bob is likely banning Jill and Jinger from the big house. And it has to do with ridding their surroundings. And it has to do with how you can cleanse the house, and that having evil beings around, like kids in rebellion, would send Satan into their home. Yeah, so I'll explain that to you in a second. And then also some pictures that were put out by Miss Jessa Blessa showed Miss Michelle in pants. Well, sort of. So Michelle is sort of wearing pants, and Jessa put out a post showing that she does hug her sister, and Joy posted some photos of all the sisters together, and then Ginger posted some photos of all the kids together, and all I'm getting out of this are there's cult games everywhere, and we're one big happy family. Yay! And what's interesting though too is that Ginger made a point to say that like she got together with all of her sisters. So it was like a sisters event. You know, Ginger has said publicly that she maintains a good relationship with her sisters, and she's very silent about her brothers, which is so weird to me. Well, maybe not, because the boys are underneath the authority of Jim Bob. Just saying. Okay, so let's talk about these series of photographs that were put out by Jessa, by Ginger, Michelle in pants, and why Jim Bob is likely banning two of his daughters from his house. So let's dive into today's topic. Can you do me a big favor and give this video a thumbs up? Also, please subscribe to my channel if you've not yet subscribed by clicking on the subscribe button down below. Make sure to click on the bell if you'd like to get notified of any time I go live or new content loads. Make sure you set them to all so you never miss a video. If you have something to say, leave a comment, and make sure to share these videos with your friends if they also enjoy this kind of fundamentalist cult talk. Okay. So last night I uploaded a video where I talked about some of the damage control techniques, about how the IBLP wants to make people be distracted from topics that are going on in the public, distract and deflect, so that you're not talking about the elephant in the room, that is like they're part of a cult, and to talk about other things. So one technique that Jim Bob has done is to constantly put out deflective pieces which will make people talk about other issues than these disputes within the family, and to make it seem like everything is fine. And it has different messages that they send when they're doing this. Now, I know it sounds like a conspiracy, and if I hadn't spent the last 5 years actually following this family, following the social media posts and knowing what they react to and what they don't react to, and also hearing Jim Bob himself talk about, you know, what people can and cannot post and why they can and cannot post that, I'm inclined to believe that there's always a reason for what goes on. And they used social media strategists for years to overwhelm with the news feed. So to get the news cycle off of the book, they're going to overwhelm you with other content, kind of like what they did when her book release was going out and all the kids went on vacation. After I did the video, I got a message from someone that knows the Duggars, was a part of this cult, and has actually helped other people leave, and has utilized resources like the book that was written by Don Vinoy about Bill Gothard and how this cult operates when someone does leave. So this is what they sent to me via text. The whole motive for Joy's video was to deflect and distract from the main point of Jinger and Jeremy's video, which was directed at the IBLP being a cult. So they have put out a lot of videos saying that the IBLP is a cult. So they're doing what a cult does, according to Don Vinoy. Because Jinger and Jeremy have brought all of this stuff forward, they want to turn it around and put it on Jeremy and on Jinger, and they're going to do that by deflecting, by trying to claim Jeremy is lazy, which could be a valid point, but it also successfully distracts others from discussing that Jim Bob is part of this narcissistic psychopathic cult and has cult-like control over his families. They also noted that Austin and Joy are completely against anything reformed, so they're going to be coming at Jeremy because of that, versus someone like Anna, who is actually follows the reformed doctrine and would ascribe to the same beliefs, but still a member of the IBLP. So Anna wouldn't actually face off with Jeremy and argue with the doctrine because it's what she follows as well, even though she's in the IBLP. And they said all of this is done as a distraction, and they lure Jinger home, and then they use this opportunity to show her kids' faces and then tear down Jeremy. So, and then that in effect will then distract the public from everything that's being said about Jinger's book. They also noted that even though everyone looks happy, they believe people are mad at her and Jeremy. So I'm sure that the whole group that Joy and Austin were with are mad at Jeremy and Jinger because they say that they're in a cult. Jeremy's educated and he got his high school diploma. He graduated from college and he's continuing his education. And all of those are negatives with Austin and all of his friends. So they don't believe in higher education. They don't believe that you need to go to college. They don't believe any of that. So basically, what this person sends me a text message is that the whole scenario is set up to really gaslight people so that the public will stop talking about the fact that Jinger and Jeremy are talking about the IBLP being a cult. And by doing that, they can do things like lure Jinger home and have these events and outings so that what she's saying publicly doesn't match the pictures that they're putting out online. And that going after Jeremy, like insinuating that he's lazy, might be low-hanging fruit, but it's done because what Jeremy and Jinger are doing is actually speaking truth to what the IBLP is. And even if you don't agree with what Jeremy is involved in today, what he's saying about the IBLP is not false. Hope that makes sense. Then I got a message today from someone that was from the IBLP, and they were saying that Bill Gothard had this very strange thing about the things that were in houses. And so it's not uncommon for families to kick out rebellious kids because of the bad energy and Satan that they bring into the house. So this is what they said. Remember, I'm a former IBLP ATI person from age 10 to 20, and I watched your video about Ginger's girls' faces getting shown in video footage by Joanna, and the whole awkward JB eating pizza by the door thing. So I remember from ATI that when we joined, we had to cleanse our home. We had to throw out items that Bill Gothard thought were satanic and would give Satan a foothold in our home and hearts. This type of thinking and behavior of needing to maintain a cleansed home crosses over into relating to people. So if a person has exhibited carnal and rebellious behavior, that person is now an unsafe item for your home. In my own world, I would describe this as reversed of the whole umbrella of authority teaching. It's like have the umbrella doctrine holding everyone prisoner and under a man's power, but then it can flip and turn into keeping people out so they don't taint the man's jurisdiction. The most common example is a rebel child who used to be under the umbrella, but now is no longer welcome into the home, under the roof, under the umbrella, whatever that respective family wants to call it. To be allowed back into the house, you have to repent, do restoration, to the relationships, do restitution, and freaking believe of the cult teachings. So it sounds like what they're doing is saying that unless you repent and unless you believe and unless you do what I want, you're not allowed in the house, because right now what you're doing is bringing in Satan into the house, which this explanation makes so much sense. And it's the first time someone from the ATI has really explained this to me in a way that makes sense. So hopefully that helps you. So while this has all been going on, a number of the girls have now been posting photographs of them all together reuniting as a family. Even if this is a great level of reunification, there's almost always a strategy when it comes to this group. So Jessa posts a bunch of photographs, and in the photographs you actually see Michelle, and Michelle appears to be wearing pants. Now, the pants are actually not pants. They're a legging with a dress, a skirt over it. So it's a workout attire. But even this item with the leggings underneath would not have ever been approved by a Michelle of 15 years ago. 15 years ago, she would have called this immodest because, one, it's tightly formed to her body. She's wearing a tightly formed shirt, and it's putting attention to her to her legs because she's got leggings on. So she's sort of wearing pants, which again is sort of like, we're not in a cult. Michelle wears pants. So take that for what it is. Michelle has also worn these same pants type things when she was in California with Jinger. So really anytime she's with Jinger, she wears these pants. Go figure. Also in pants were Jana, Jessa, Joy, and Jinger, and Jill. Jill was there for the event. So Jill was there, Jessa and Jinger do hug, and then Jinger posted a bunch of photographs with her siblings and said that she went to go see her sisters and meet some of her nieces and nephews that she had never met before. So here's what Jessa had to say. The older everyone gets, the busier life gets, which means it's always extra special when we manage to get all 9 of us sisters plus mom together again in the same place at the same time. Last week was golden. And it shows them all together at that coffee shop. So the video that you all saw when you saw Israel and what appeared to be Samuel, that actually was Israel and Samuel, and Jill was there seeing her sisters. Jinger was there, Jessa was there. Almost all of them are wearing pants except for the younger girls. And then Jinger in her post said, "We had the best time at Arkansas visiting my family, girl time with all of my sisters and sweet mama, meeting some new nieces and nephews, eating lots of good food, and many late night conversations." So even though she is reunited with her family, even though she's back with her sisters, there's still this sort of elephant in the room that, as far as her being allowed to go to the big house under the teachings of Gothard, she's not allowed there because she's going to bring Satan in because she doesn't believe, and she's not under her dad's authority, and she's rebelling. So she's in rebellion, which is akin to witchcraft, which is basically Ginger's a witch now, I guess. So Jinger and Jill are not allowed at the big house because Jim Bob is afraid of the influence that they will bring to the younger siblings, and by this influence being teaching them that what they've learned their entire lives is false, and letting them know that there's a different way to live, which under Jim Bob's rules threatens his authority. Jim Bob might think that in the world of public relations he's winning, and ultimately what I care about and what most of you care about is that the girls have and maintain a good relationship with one another. Conversations about this are so helpful for me and for everyone that's part of this culture, because nothing is what it seems, and the dynamics in these families are so complicated. A lot of people that leave this cult go no contact with their families because there's always something under the sort of festering underneath them that's trying to draw them away or back to them. And then when they do see them, their family, manipulations can be used, tactics can be used to try to get them back, to try to make them look bad, to try to discredit them, to try to make them appear like they're the ones that are wrong. I've talked to so many different people that have left this culture that have said they've had to go no contact with their parents because it gets to a point where no matter what they have in their conversations, their parents cannot respect that they have left their authority, and that because they've left their authority, they believe that they're like Satan. And this is like a sad part of this church and this belief system. It's not even really a church, is that it's turning families members against each other. It's weaponizing families to have division where there doesn't need to be division. It creates fights that don't need to happen. It creates control dynamics that shouldn't be. It gives fathers and mothers that have adult children unquestionable and unreasonable authority, and that when their adult children like grow up and realize I don't have to live like this, it then creates shunning and these really uncomfortable situations that you find some of the older Duggar sisters in. And some of you had asked, why do Josh and Anna still get the red carpet treatment from the Duggars? And it's simple. They still buy into the IBLP. They still go to these seminars. They haven't left their belief system about the IBLP. They still believe in Bill Gothard as a teacher. And as long as they believe, anything else is forgivable. What's not forgivable is not believing in Bill Gothard and these teachings. It's forgivable to do anything to a child. It's not forgivable to go outside the authority of the father, disobey them, and become a rebel. I don't make the rules. I just explain them. So is it damage control, or is it just the family getting together? I think it's a high dose of damage control, with also, I hope that Jinger uses this as a reminder that even though she loves her family, it's good to love them from a distance, which is exactly the decisions that Jill has made. She loves her family. She will always be there for her family, but she loves them from a distance because it's an unhealthy dynamic. Does that make sense? I hope the explanation I gave to you from former members helps you better understand. All right, tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.